Welcome once again to Coffee with Sellers. I'm your host, Mike Bryan. Today I have Yousef Benhamida from HumbleSecretSupplies.com. Yousef, welcome to Coffee with Sellers.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. First off, we've got to get to the important details. Are you a coffee drinker?
I have been drinking coffee lately, quite a lot actually. So I've just been trying to wean myself off. I've been going a little too hard.
I hear you. It can be easy to do. It can be easy to do. Well, great. So hey, give us a background. What was your origin story in e-commerce, and what got you here to where you're at today?
Yeah. So let's see. I went to college at UCSD in 2006. Dropped out of my fourth year in 2010. I really didn't know what I was doing, but I spent a lot of time gardening. For years, I was gardening plants, and there's a big industry for fertilizers and nutrients when it comes to plants.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, I learned a lot about that, and I came up with one product that I thought was going to be really good, based upon the knowledge that I had from the gardening skills that I developed over those years. And this was like right when Amazon started coming around. Do you mean Amazon or e-commerce in general?
E-commerce in general. I mean, it can be part of that, but yeah, e-commerce in general.
So I took this product that I made, and I had a friend make a website, and it was in ZenCart.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I said, look, throw up a video of the product right on the front, which a lot of people these days use it as like a VSL on a video at the very top of a web page. I just thought, look, let's just make it right at the top. Let's put a video of it. I can't remember if I was saying stuff in the video. I think I might have been talking in the video. I think it was a video I filmed. And then it was like a buy now. It was a product and buy now. And I made the product, and that day or that week, I sold like one bottle. And I made 4 more bottles, and I sold those 2 over the course of a little while. But I learned about Amazon through, I had a friend that was, he had a company called Zip Buds. He had this company on Amazon, and this is a long time ago. This is like a decade ago. And I was asking him questions constantly. And then my brother told me, well, have you ever heard of Amazon FBA? And I didn't really know anything at the time, but I went, I ended up getting it registered on Amazon. And
these were the Wild West days of Amazon.
This was 2013-ish, 13, 14. And so I read through the rules too on Amazon after I got my product on. And like I said, I didn't know any sales were going to come from this. So, you're doing these things and you have no idea what's going to come from it. And this was during the time when you could give out a free product for a review. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, I set up like a Feedback Genius account or a Seller Labs account. And then I created the automatic email templates to request to be able to give out a product and get a review. Sure. And then eventually I started getting a few reviews every day. And then that's, once I got to 100, 200, 300, sales started really coming in. And then, there's more to the story than that, but that's in terms of
Sure. What would you call the struggles in those early days? Because we get the starting, we get the ending, but a lot of times we don't get the middle, the messiness in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be, somebody asked me, I get younger kids sometimes ask me questions, and as small the thing that I got through, they asked me, well, what am I best at? And I said, I'm best at surviving. Yeah, I'm best at surviving because it was so rough to go through it all. I didn't really realize what I had to do to go through it all. I didn't have any money. I was doing, you're doing these things that you think is going to work. I almost had, not only did I almost at one point, I gave up I had a car, like a BMW. Okay. And I basically came to the point eventually where things weren't working, and I had to beg a friend to give me a loan on the car, $5,000 loan. And literally, if I didn't get the money when he gave it to me, I would not have had a place to live. And eventually, if
Yeah.
it didn't make it work out, I wouldn't have a car. I would have given up my last asset too.
Sure.
So I had to go the distance. I had to be able to say, well, look, this is my last chance, or else I'm not gonna. I always thought I could fall back on tennis teaching. So
Oh,
I had to
okay.
go
All right.
all in. I had to go all in. I had to go to the point where there was no return.
Yeah. Commit, commit, commit.
Yeah. So
And that was that, and those really were your only two sources of potential. I'm not even saying they were income at the time, but I would the from what it sounds like what you're saying is that you were making some money, but it wasn't much yet.
no, I was living off a small amount of savings and credit card
Got it.
debt. So, and then I was
And
like, I was buying and selling stuff on the side to put into the
okay,
business. Yeah.
was the so with the products, and you were making those products?
I was making them. So I was making them in my 500 square foot 1 bedroom apartment in UTC. I was mixing, blending, like the formula I made in my bathroom. I was like, and filling it in a pneumatic filling machine in the main bedroom. And I was living in a small little area in the living room. And
You were
yeah.
committed. Yeah, you were committed.
Yeah.
Did you run up against any issues with when you did go to Amazon and FBA? Did you run up against issues with hazmat or anything along those lines, being a chemical?
This is a long time ago. It wasn't the restrictions were a little lighter back then.
Sure.
We run into that we run into that now lately, and it takes actually lots of. I mean, we run into a lot of issues on a lot of products sometimes because they're.
Yeah.
But we just have to continually message and send emails and get through cases, and sometimes they don't agree. We have to reopen and we have to figure it out. So we don't
A lot
really
of
have too many hazmat things, but sometimes their automatic systems will trigger
yep.
things, and then
Yep.
we have to spend a unlimited amount of time fixing
Yep.
what they think is a problem.
Right on. Yeah, no, I haven't uh found that with the products I have in my Amazon business, but there are occasions when randomly you get this notice that your products that have nothing to do with it, but they have their bots doing their work for them. So I can feel your pain, shall we say?
That's just it happens so many times. At first, you freak out, and then you just get used to it, and you realize you have to just hire someone to fix the problems.
Yeah, exactly. I think of it much like the some of the credit repair companies that it's you're not hiring them to get your money back. You're just hiring them to repair the problem that went on.
Yeah,
right?
they repair it. Yeah, it's the cost of doing business, and
especially in the market that you happen to play in, right?
yeah. There's a few things that they can flag and stuff, and you have to work through it. But I know another buddy who's also doing FBA, but he complains about it a lot, and I just that's just the cost of doing business.
Right. No, that's so true. It's so true. So with that product, and let's go back because it and as you and maybe for the seller today who might have to deal with a similar challenge that you have in terms of what do you think made your product take off in terms of it was this, you made a good product, obviously you made a good product, but what other factors do you think went into it at the time?
I was doing a little bit of advertising. I was doing some advertising on Facebook, and it was during the time where all these companies, they bootstrapped or went really big on Facebook ads really quickly because the ad cost was so cheap. Now, I didn't actually know what I was doing, and there were kind of a lot of restrictions advertising in what I was doing, but I could just boost posts and get a lot of engagement.
Right.
And so I would routinely ask people, well, hey, how do you hear about me? And they said, oh, we learned about it on Facebook, and then we went to Amazon and bought it. So
sure.
I didn't know how to advertise on Amazon at the time, so I was doing it almost with no advertising.
That's you can't go wrong that way. One way or another, you were doing some advertising, but it sounds like you bootstrapped it pretty well there. What advice would you have today for that e-commerce business owner who's, maybe go back to those early days that you had in terms of what it is that you felt like you had to do, and well, just some general advice. I think something that comes to mind, your mind, that if you're talking to somebody today, it's like, oh, I'd definitely do this today. What's your thoughts?
If I could go back and start everything over, I would have started. Of course, I chose the market which I knew the most about, and I just kind of went with the flow. But I see a lot of other people in choosing a better market, a bigger market, and a platform advertising friendly market. So something like a lot of people do weight loss stuff these days, and
sure,
there's still restrictions with what you can say, but just some sort of large market where you can go a little bit bigger. There's more customers. It's not so niche.
Sure. Do you think, because I'm a big proponent of niching down, but it also gets to the point where that's a relative term, right? In terms of how big is niching down?
I mean, just because if every single person can use it, it just makes the pie so much bigger. Personally, I've had maybe it's an advertising policy and just, but I'm in a kind of a really small market.
Yep.
So yeah, I would prefer to go after like a big market, like, people eating food, eating.
Sure.
Like it's like every single person is your possible customer.
That's true. That's true. And from there you can niche down to taste. And I hear what you're saying. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Totally.
Yeah.
If so let's fast forward to today. You're on Amazon, you got your own site. What's your mix
in terms of sales?
Yep, percentage wise.
Amazon does more, but when the market's going well, probably sales are probably split in half, because we also do wholesale orders, commercial. We make products. We make products for other companies. So the website is it's not like a retail site only, but it's more of a salesperson also to help to make products for other companies, or to just sell in bulk.
Sure. So let's put yourself in the shoes of an up and coming business owner in the e-commerce space. What did you do, or what would you do to finish an hour earlier every day to help give you back time? If you're sitting,
pay someone, give up some of your money and pay someone.
Where did you start?
I started I did everything myself.
Yeah.
Hired.
In terms of, let me rephrase the question. Where did you start to offload? What was like this? Oh, this has got to go. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Well, you reach a point where you can't do it. You can't do anymore in one day. You're making the product yourself.
You were the epitome. I mean, I know sellers who, they're product researching and doing all that, but yeah, you were making it. You were the epitome of that. Created the whole company. So what was the?
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
When money started coming in, and when you don't worry about money as much, that's typically the time to start giving it up to.
Yeah, right.
Growing.
Right.
I didn't raise any money. I didn't really have any other investors, and I still don't. So you just have to, if you want to grow something, you just have to give up money. And get some people to do. And all I looked for was just somebody who could would do exactly what I said.
Yeah,
because I already knew. I was like, look, I just need somebody that will just listen to me, smart, and I need their brain, and that will do exactly what I said. So I just made a part-time listing on Indeed.
Okay.
And started and I interviewed like 30 people. It took me a few months.
The great debate is, do you go overseas or do you just stay local? Local, I guess you could say either truly local or within the US or California, whatever you'd like to look at.
So I was hiring always like little like people on Upwork or Odesk. It was Odesk back then.
Yeah, right.
Or Fiverr. I was always but I mean your first real person, in person, not online or something that you get. What was your question again?
Just did you go overseas or did you stay local? Local being US. Let's just call it
for like a real person that you have.
Right.
That's like local. No. I just posted. I made a posting on Indeed and maybe Craigslist. I think I was just Indeed and just did like 30 interviews and ended up just running into a pretty smart person who is still with me to this day.
That's great. And it sounds like it because of that 30 interviews, it was a persistent process for you. It sounds
that was the hardest one. That was the hardest one.
The first one always is, right? Because you want to find the right one. This is your time, this is your money, and you want to find that right one. So yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Yousef. If somebody wants to learn more about your products, how can they reach you?
They can just type my name into Google. I have a personal website. It's just my name, yousefbenhamida.com.
We'll get that in the notes. Yeah.
I have an Instagram. It's typically what people use these days.
Great. Well, Yousef, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. I love hearing your story. And we'll talk again soon.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me.